In a world buzzing with instant connections and endless information, there are still pockets of quiet, untouched by the modern hum, where time seems to fold in upon itself. Here, life moved at the pace of the sun and seasons, and the loudest sounds were the whispering wind and the distant rush of the river. It was in such a place, shielded from the world's rapid advancements, that a young girl named Calla spent her formative years. No internet, no television, no endless streams of data. Calla's world was bounded by the ancient trees and the knowledge passed down through generations. Yet, a small, curious seed of something profoundly alien had taken root in her young mind, planted by a handful of forgotten relics. 5 cassette tapes, remnants of a forgotten traveler, became her gateway to a world she'd only imagined. A world speaking in the mesmerizing rhythm of English. Every day, as the sun dipped below the hills, Calla would meticulously insert a tape, the mechanical whirring a familiar prelude to new words and phrases. She'd repeat after the voices, her own voice a soft echo of the recorded lessons. For 10 long years, these 5 tapes were her only teachers, her constant companions, their content etched into her memory with unwavering precision. She learned not just words, but intonations, cadences, the subtle emotional weight behind each sentence, building an understanding far beyond simple translation. Her grandmother, an elderly woman named Alara, watched Calla's peculiar obsession with a mixture of bemusement and quiet pride. She would often observe Calla speaking to the rustling leaves. Calla would turn and say, "Grandmother, listen. They speak of the rains coming, don't you hear it?" The villagers considered Calla's English a charming eccentricity, a child's game, understanding little of the profound dedication it entailed. Only Silas, the village elder and master woodcarver, seemed to grasp the true depth of Calla's solitary pursuit. He would watch her, a twinkle in his deep-set eyes, and once remarked, his voice low and thoughtful, "A well-sharpened tool, Calla, is a thing of beauty, even if its purpose is not yet known."
Calla, ever eager, replied, "But what if the purpose never comes, Silas? What if this language I've learned is like a boat meant for an ocean that I will never see?" Silas paused, looking at his work, and responded, "Every seed holds a forest within it, Calla. Its time will come."
And so, Calla continued, her determination fueled by an unshakable inner conviction, believing that one day her unique skill would find its true calling. The cassette tapes, however, were not eternal, their plastic shells and magnetic ribbons slowly succumbing to the relentless march of time and repeated use. One crisp autumn morning, a faint crackle disrupted Calla's familiar lesson, the tape refusing to play a crucial sentence. Her heart sank. She turned to Silas, saying, "The words are fading, Silas. What am I to do now?"
Silas carefully examined the tape, then looked at Calla. He spoke, "The vessel may weaken, child, but the knowledge remains. It lives within you now. That is where it truly belongs."
Just as despair threatened to settle, a ripple of excitement spread through the village like wildfire, a story carried by a rare visitor from the nearest town. A scholar, a foreign woman with strange instruments and a keen interest in ancient traditions, was making her way through the remote valleys, seeking untold histories. The news ignited a spark in Calla's heart, a sudden, vivid possibility that her isolated preparation might finally meet its moment. The thought of actually speaking English, not to a recording, but to a living, breathing human, filled her with a thrilling blend of excitement and trepidation. She spent the next few days in a feverish flurry of review, poring over the tapes once more, trying to solidify every phrase, every idiom.
Silas found her practicing greetings to the ancient stone river guardian. He chuckled softly and said, "You speak to rocks, Calla, yet you worry about a human? The rocks are much less forgiving." Calla, flushed, retorted, "But the rocks do not judge my accent, Silas."
The scholar, Dr. Anya Sharma, was a woman of calm demeanor and sharp intellect, arriving with a small team who carried equipment unlike anything the villagers had ever seen. They set up camp near the village outskirts, drawing curious glances and hushed whispers from the wary but intrigued locals. Calla watched from afar, her heart pounding with a mixture of fear and fervent hope, knowing her moment was drawing near. The opportunity arose during a village gathering where Dr. Sharma attempted to explain her research through a clumsy local interpreter. Anya's scientific terms were lost in translation, leading to increasingly frustrated expressions on both sides. She sighed deeply and looked around, wishing for some clearer way to communicate. Calla summoned all her courage, stepped forward, her voice surprisingly steady. Perhaps I can help.
Anya blinked, taken aback. She spoke. You speak English? Calla nodded, her voice gaining confidence. I have listened for many years. From the tapes, I believe I understand your words.
Anya, though skeptical, saw a flicker of earnestness in the girl's eyes and decided to give her a chance, a gamble that would soon astound her. Calla began to translate, her voice clear and precise, carefully articulating Anya's complex explanations into the simple, resonant language of the village. Anya then said, "You captured the nuance exactly." The villagers watched in amazement as Calla effortlessly bridged the linguistic chasm, their faces shifting from confusion to understanding. For the rest of Anya's stay, Calla became her indispensable guide and interpreter, accompanying her through the ancient forests and hidden paths. Anya was fascinated not only by Calla's linguistic prowess, but also by her profound knowledge of the local flora and fauna, a knowledge Calla often attributed to the quiet whispers of the forest. Anya smiled. "I believe you, Calla." The language barrier dissolved, revealing not just a translator, but a young woman deeply connected to her environment, offering insights that no textbook could ever provide. Silas often observed Calla and Anya from afar, a quiet smile playing on his lips, his earlier prophecy now vividly manifest. He approached them one evening by the campfire, the air filled with the scent of wood smoke and quiet conversation. He looked at Calla and said, "The boat has found its ocean, little one." Calla beamed, her eyes shining.
Anya turned to Silas, saying, "Calla is truly remarkable. Her English is impeccable, and her understanding of your world is profound." Silas nodded slowly. "The mountain folk learn patience, Dr. Sharma, and patience too can be a form of wisdom."
Calla's extraordinary journey, sparked by a few dusty tapes, had blossomed into an invaluable connection, weaving together two disparate worlds. As Anya prepared to depart, the village gathered, their farewells filled with genuine warmth and profound gratitude for the bridges Calla had built. Anya approached Calla, her expression deeply moved. She took Calla's hand and said, "You taught me that true knowledge isn't about access to endless information, but the depth with which one cultivates what they have. You are a treasure, Calla." She then presented Calla with a small, sturdy digital recorder preloaded with hundreds of English audiobooks and lessons, a gift that would revolutionize Calla's learning.
Calla held the device, her eyes wide with awe. She whispered, "So many voices, so many words." Anya smiled softly. "May they carry you further than you ever imagined, Calla. The world is waiting to hear your voice."
With Anya's departure, a new chapter began for Calla, one where her horizons stretched far beyond the valley's embrace. She continued to learn, her resourcefulness undiminished, her love for language now amplified by a boundless library of voices. The memory of the 5 old cassette tapes remained cherished, a humble foundation upon which her grand linguistic journey was built. Calla's story became a quiet legend in her valley, a testament to the power of human curiosity and the extraordinary paths forged by simple, earnest desire. Her unique education had not only allowed her to connect with an outside world, but also to articulate the rich heritage of her own. Silas, now older but still sharp of mind, watched Calla one day speaking with a rare passing merchant in fluent English, negotiating a fair trade for her village's crafts. He smiled and said to himself, "Indeed, the seeds found their forest." Calla's journey reminds us that true resourcefulness isn't about what you have, but what you do with what you're given, transforming limited tools into infinite possibilities. Her story echoes a universal truth that passion, dedication, and an open heart can unlock connections far more valuable than any technology. And in the quiet valleys, where the wind still whispers ancient tales, Calla's voice became a testament to the power of a dream, patiently nurtured and bravely realized.